Bienvenidos. Welcome to another episode of Spain on Fork. As always, it is so great to have you here. I hope you're staying safe and healthy out there and feeling fabulous at the same time. Anyways, it is Monday again, and today we have one heck of an incredible recipe to kick off the week. We're talking homemade lemon bars. Now, the beauty of this recipe is that it's made with just 4 very simple ingredients. We're talking eggs, lemon, sugar, and almonds, making these lemon bars naturally gluten-free, folks. Now, this recipe is super easy to make, but the flavors and textures of the lemon bars are truly out of this world good. Let's begin by getting the crust ready. I'm gonna grab 2 cups of blanched almonds, which is 260 grams, and add them into a food processor. Now, the almonds that I'm using are Spanish Marcona almonds, but you can use whatever almonds you like, and of course you can skip this step and use almond flour instead. You're gonna need about 2 1/4 cups, which is 252 grams. Then we'll place the lid on the food processor and run it on a low speed, just between 20 to 30 seconds to finely grind those almonds. We want to end up with a powder-like texture. Then I'm going to transfer the grinded almonds into a large bowl. Add in 1/4 cup of granulated sugar, which is 50 grams, and mix it together. Then I'm going to crack in 1 large-sized egg into a bowl. Remove the egg yolk and transfer it into a larger bowl and set it aside. And whisk the egg whites. Then we'll pour the whisked egg whites over the almond and sugar mixture and start mixing it together. Once you end up with a crumbly-like texture, get in there with your hands and start pushing down on the mixture. That we can start coming together. And as the mixture starts coming together, you want to fold it and continue to push down on it until you form a compact paste. Once you've ended up with a compact paste, you want to shape it into a ball, and if you see that some of the mixture's falling out, no big deal. As you're shaping that ball, you scrape it around the bowl and it'll easily pick up all the pieces that are falling. Then I'm going to transfer it over some parchment paper and start gently rolling it out. I'm looking to make a rectangular design here that's about 12 inches by 8 inches, which is 30 centimeters by about 21 centimeters. This is the size of the baking pan I'm going to use to make the lemon bars. So as you're rolling it out, try to get the same design and shape as the baking pan you're using. Then when you add the parchment paper in there with the mixture, you can easily mold it into the baking pan. Then we'll transfer it into a baking pan. Once again, the size of mine is 12 inches by 8 inches, which is about 30 centimeters by 21 centimeters, and start molding the mixture into the pan. That way it sits in there in a perfect single layer. And as you can see, that parchment paper is very important here. You want it to overhang. That way once it's fully cooked, you can easily remove it from the baking pan. And we're going to add this into a preheated oven, bake only option. That's just the bottom heat, 175 degrees Celsius, which is 350 degrees Fahrenheit. In the meantime, let's start making our lemon mixture that we're going to add over the crust. I'm going to crack in 6 eggs into the large bowl that already has the egg yolk in there. Once again, the size of the eggs that I'm using are large in size. And we'll whisk the eggs together until they're well mixed. Then I'm going to measure out 1 cup of granulated sugar, which is 200 grams, and start slowly adding in the sugar into the whisked eggs while you continue to whisk together. Once all the sugar has been added and it's well incorporated into the eggs, I'm going to finely grate the zest of 1 lemon. You want to make sure not to add any of the white pith in there, as it gives it a bitter flavor. And for the final step, we're going to add in the juice of 4 lemons, which is about 1 cup or 240 milliliters, and make sure to use the lemon that you use the zest for. That way it doesn't go to waste. And as I'm squeezing the lemon juice into the mixture, I like to have a sieve underneath, that we can catch any of the pulp or seeds. And we'll give this one final mix just for about 15 seconds, that way everything's evenly mixed together. Alright, let's move back to our crust. It's been in the oven for about 15 minutes and it should be perfectly cooked through. I'm going to remove it from the oven And as you can see, the edges of the crust have a light golden brown color to them. This is exactly how you want your crust to look. If you want it to be a little bit crispier, just leave it in the oven for a couple more minutes. For the next step, I'm going to add in the lemon and egg mixture over the crust. And then we'll add it back into the oven. Once again, bake only option. That's just the bottom heat, 175 degrees Celsius, which is 350 degrees Fahrenheit. After about 20 minutes, that lemon and egg mixture should be perfectly cooked through. You know, you can always give the baking pan a quick shake, and if it doesn't wiggle and it's nice and firm, it is ready to go. If yours is still a little bit wiggly, just leave it in there for a couple more minutes. I'm going to remove this from the oven, and we're going to let it sit here at room temperature between 1 to 2 hours. That way it can settle. After about 1 hour and the mixture has completely cooled off, I'm going to add it into the fridge just between 1 to 2 hours. That way it can cool off. You don't have to serve these chilled. You can serve them at room temperature if you like. After about 2 hours and our mixture has cooled off in the fridge, let's start cutting our lemon bars. I'm going to remove them from the baking pan, and as you can see by having that parchment paper in there, you can easily remove it from the baking pan. And you want to gently slice through the mixture as you're cutting your lemon bars. And as you can see, a little bit of that top mixture cracked. That's completely normal. That's from a temperature change from the oven to room temperature, and no big deal. You can just cover that up with some powdered sugar. And after each cut, make sure to wipe the knife with some paper towels that have some water in them, as that mixture is going to stick to the knife. That way you can have clean cuts from your lemon bars. Then I'm going to transfer a couple of the lemon bars into a serving dish for presentation. And we'll sprinkle them with some powdered sugar, which is optional. This is just to give them a beautiful design. Check it out, folks. Our homemade lemon bars are done. So easy to make, beautiful presentation, but the best part, all done using just 4 ingredients. Let's give them a try and see how they turned out. All right, folks, time for the moment of truth. Let's see how these turned out. So good. They make you want to dance. Seriously, first things first is that lemon feeling. It has such an incredible lemon flavor to it. But the beauty of these lemon bars is that crust with the almonds, as it truly takes them to the next level. You saw this so easy to make and made with 4 very simple ingredients. Give these a try at home. They're the perfect snack or dessert for any occasion. Truly, what delicious food is all about. Really quick before I go, a shout out to a couple of my patrons: Yvette Rivera, Nancy T, David Anthony, Michael Fenter, Catherine Clark, and Jean. Again, guys, thank you so much for being patrons of Spain on a Fork. You know how much I appreciate you. For the rest of you, if you're not with me on Patreon and you'd like to support the show, you'll find my Patreon in the description box below and iCard above. If you enjoyed today's video, hit that like button, leave me a comment below, and if you're not subscribed, don't forget to smash that subscribe button and click on the bell icon. That way you can get notified when I release new content and to become a part of the Spain on a Fork family. Till the next time, hasta luego. Incredible episode, and seriously, these lemon bars, I mean, look at this. Doesn't get any better than this. This is heaven. Love you. See you next video.